tweeting during the broadcast section, please use the microphone provided. James.
Ange, hi. Any good news on the injury and illness front?
It depends. I think net-wise, we're still down. We'll get Bentancur back, but we lose Madison and Pape Sarr by suspension. So a couple of numbers down there. And then in terms of the injuries, no one back. Mikey potentially could be available to be on the bench. Everyone else from the weekend certainly feel better. Radu's kind of recovered. Archie's better. They were the kind of main ones. Decky was a little bit under the weather, but he's good. So pretty much as was on the weekend, plus Bentancur minus the other two.
And is Richarlison back in training?
Yeah, he's training, yeah.
How close is he?
Yeah, we're hoping, well, the whole plan with him was to get, obviously, with what's happened to him this year, to get 2 solid full weeks of training. So that's his second week will be next week, and get through that, he'll be fine.
Son has extended his stay for an extra season. How pleased are you with that, and what does he bring to you and this club?
Yeah, brilliant. He's already had an outstanding career at this football club. He's been he's played a big role in sort of the last 10 years of made an impact at the club, made an impact in the Premier League. Great to extend his stay, and the kind of aim and the ambition is to make sure he finishes his Tottenham career with some silverware. And
you've brought a player in this transfer window already in Kinski. Is he likely to feature tomorrow or too soon?
We'll see. He obviously arrived. Lost track of days, but Sunday I think he's had a couple of days of training, and he's registered eligible to play. Still got to do a couple of final things with him, and then we'll see.
Some tough decisions in terms of your goalkeeper going forward now?
It's good to look. I mean, he's one that we had earmarked for end of season in the summer to bring in. We've tracked him all season. He's definitely someone who we're really excited about. But obviously, with our current goalkeeping situation, we explored the possibility of bringing him in January. It wasn't easy because he's doing very well for his club. His club's doing very well. They're in Europe. They're on top of the league. But the fact that the club worked really hard, Johan, and the club to get the deal done today, in this window, it's a huge benefit to us and adds some real quality to our goalkeepings.
And you've been linked with Randall Coley Moani at PSG, but Richarlison, you say, is close. Do you still want to bring in a forward in this window?
Look, we're still, I think, trying to help the squad and help the players. Obviously, like I said, we're still down significant numbers. Again, we'll have roughly 10 first-team players missing tomorrow. That isn't easing at the moment. There's still, like I said, we're getting one back. We lose a couple, so we still need to look to try and, see if we can help the playing group. And the club's working hard with that, with a number of areas.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Hi, Ange, how are you?
Good, mate.
The league form hasn't been spectacular, I think it's fair to say, of late. So the fact you've got a couple of cup games coming up, is that a good kind of respite from what's been going on in the Premier League?
Yeah, no, look, our league results have been poor, so there's no hiding from that. Like I said, this is a separate competition tomorrow night. We've done well to get to the semi-final stage. We've beaten some pretty, both Manchester clubs to do that. Hasn't been an easy road to get to the semi-finals. We've got obviously, an opponent who's, been the standout team so far this year in all competitions. So a great test for us, but it's a semi-final, first leg of a semi-final of a cup, and should be exciting. Looking forward to it.
They put 6 past you last time. They met you a couple of weeks ago at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium, and without wishing to go down the how are you going to play route, this is a 2-legged semi-final whereby I'm guessing, however you play tomorrow, you still want to be in the tie going to Anfield.
Well, I think that's the case. Irrespective of how you play, you realise, there is a second leg to be played. So, I think, but that doesn't change our approach for tomorrow. We're at home, and when it's a sort of a 2-legged affair, if you can get some kind of advantage in your home game, that sets you up pretty well. So that's what we'll try and do.
I know at the weekend there were some refereeing decisions that bemused everybody, not only in your game but maybe in other games too. And the only people that would have seen what VAR was actually discussing were the people involved with the VAR decision. Tomorrow night, though, we're going to see with VAR, everyone in the stadium will be told by the referee why the decision's been made and for what reason. Do you welcome that? Do you welcome the fact that now the spectators, even if it is only for this competition and a one-off, will actually be a part of the VAR decision?
Do I welcome it? No.
Do you think it's fair that they should be able to listen?
Do you think if they had shown the handball on the weekend that our supporters would have been happy? Would they have come away and said, oh, that's great, they explained it? But at the same time, I have to accept that it's coming in. I have to accept that this is the way forward. I have to accept that I have to be a part of that. And so, but it shouldn't surprise anyone if I'm not a sort of cheerleader for those kind of things.
Ali, please.
Hi there, Ange. Anton Kinski comes in. He feels a little bit like Archie Gray and Lucas Bergwijn. That comes from a footballing family. He seems to have that level-headed nature about him. How important is that when you're signing a player to have that calm nature about him?
Yeah, I think it's a big part. We've kind of put big stock in that, in the kind of players we've brought in. That we're trying to build a team that of people who are very ambitious. Have a clear sort of goal in their heads about how they want their career to sort of go, and we've seen that already with Lucas and Archie, as much about their performance, but also the way they've kind of embraced the whole challenge. Certainly not like your normal 18-year-olds. They're showing a real, like I said, maturity, but also a real ambition to make an impact, and talking to Tony and sort of looking into his background, he's very much of a similar mould.
What have you made of him training so far? It seems to have, only from the clips I've seen, great ability with his feet as well as his hands.
Well, we tried to obviously identify people, goalkeepers who are going to, or players who are going to fit into our system. That's a big part of how we play, and it's certainly something that he does very comfortably. But it's his all-round goalkeeping ability. Like I said, we've done a lot of Johan and his scanning. We've done a lot of sort of background work on him. They've been following him all year. The intent was, like I said, to bring him in the summer, but obviously that not only changed, but we thought, why not, with the way we are in terms of the goalkeepers, try and bring in him earlier. I wasn't confident that was going to happen, but the club worked really hard to make it happen, and I think it's great for him, it's great for us. Gives him an opportunity to sort of come in a bit earlier, get bedded into the way we do things, and like I said, adds real quality to our goalkeeping.
Just want to ask you about left back as well. Obviously, Destiny out for a while now. Jed filling in on the left. You've got Sergio Reguilon, who's coming to the end of his contract. Is that a position that you are going to maybe try and ride it through, or would you like to bring another body in that area of the squad?
Oh, look, it depends with, we're in a tricky situation where we've got, because obviously Ben Davies can play left back as well. So, but we're in this tricky situation where, potentially we could have three very, very good defenders coming back into the fold very, very quickly. Obviously, Destiny's going to be a bit longer. So it's a bit of a balancing act of how much we can get through. I just don't want to, again, the beauty of bringing in somebody like Tony was that he was part of our plans anyway. I'm really reluctant just to bring in another body just for the sake of it. It's going to be somebody who either fits into what we're doing or he's going to help us straight away. They're the kind of criteria we're looking at.
It's safe to say you probably had this busy period and a lot of injuries and you've had to get through it. I think that's sort of what you were saying in the last few weeks, but do you think there's been a bit more of a reset now and giving you a bit of a chance to look at maybe those kind of signings, who's coming back, when they're coming back, and maybe have a bit of a picture about what the rest of the season will look like?
Look, I think sort of, I kind of knew it would be a tough couple of months for us, but part of you is always optimistic that we won't have to sort of deal with what we had to deal with for as long as we've had to deal with it. So again, optimistically, I think we'll get through this, and I think we'll get through it hopefully pretty quickly. We're getting to the tail end, which just gives you a chance to say, okay, what's the second half of the season going to look like for us? But at the same time, I can't lose sight of the fact that what's important for us right now is that we deal with what's in front of us. We've got a big game tomorrow night, obviously FA Cup. Our league form's nowhere near good enough. We've got to address that. So we can't just wait for it to all happen. So the planning is going on in the background for sure, but my immediate task is to make sure we kind of make an impact in what we can right now.
And what did you make of the game at the weekend, the Manchester United-Liverpool game? Liverpool have obviously been the standard setters this season, but maybe they looked a bit vulnerable. Do you think it's a nice time to play them?
I don't know if it's a nice time to play them. I thought it was a good game, and I thought, Manchester United really sort of lifted their intensity levels and, causing problems. But at the same time, Liverpool still, you can still see the quality they possess. They still created opportunities. They're always a threat. They're like I said, they're a top side. They're really settled. I think they've just got just about everyone fit and healthy. They can rotate players, so they're in a good moment, and it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Just the last one. You got a goalkeeping decision to make maybe now after bringing one in. How are you going to sort of look at that decision coming into tomorrow, keeping Austin or bringing in Tony?
Yeah, I'll just assess on sort of how Tony settled in, and like I said, Brandon did really well for us, which is great. And then I'll just make a decision. I mean, we've still got a couple of European games again where Tony's not going to be involved. So it's not like we understand that Brandon and Fraser's back training today. That they're still very important to what we're doing.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there. Move on to the embargoed section for 10.